The train screeched as it pulled into the station, the metal wheels groaned, sparks flashing against the tracks. I stepped down first, and the humid air clung to my skin like a damp cloth. The city pulsed with restless energy. Neon lights buzzed and flickered above the crowded streets. Vendors shouted in languages I half understood, their voices blending with the screech of mopeds racing through narrow alleys. I breathed in a mix of spices, roasted meats, and the faint sourness of rain-soaked stone. This was supposed to be the beginning of our honeymoon, our first real journey together as husband and wife. I turned, smiling, reaching to carry her bag. Her face was pale, expressionless, lips pressed into a thin hard line. She brushed past me without a glance, heels clicking sharply against the tiled floor of the station. The crowd moved around us like a tide, yet she kept a deliberate distance, as though even my shadow was too close. We reached the hotel after a short taxi ride. The lobby was a palace of marble and glass. A chandelier glittered overhead, scattering fractured light across the walls like diamonds tossed into the air. The air smelled of polished wood and faint cologne. Couples lounged in velvet chairs, whispering, laughing, leaning into one another with the intimacy of shared secrets. The receptionist smiled and handed us a single keycard. I thought nothing of it. I was tired from travel, eager to rest. We entered the room together. Golden light spilled from a lamp, illuminating a wide bed dressed in crisp white sheets. The curtain swayed slightly from the hum of the air conditioner. I placed the luggage down, ready to unpack, but she stopped at the doorway. Her voice broke the silence, cold and steady, as if rehearsed. "There will be no sharing of a bed." The words cut through me like shards of broken glass. For a moment, I believed I had misheard. I turned toward her slowly, waiting for some sign of humor, some playful smirk that would erase the sting. There was none. Her eyes were flat, detached, like a stranger speaking to another stranger. The bed loomed between us, a symbol of everything we were supposed to be. But it might as well have been an ocean. I tried to laugh it off, searching her face for softness, for warmth. She did not meet my gaze. Something cracked inside me. The sound of my own heartbeat grew loud in my ears. The air seemed suddenly heavy, pressing against my chest. I walked to the window and pulled it open. The city spilled in like a tide. Headlights smeared across wet streets. Horns blared in discordant rhythm. Couples strolled hand in hand along the sidewalks, shadows overlapping, laughter trailing behind them like music. I was supposed to be one of them. But I stood alone, my wife only steps away yet distant as the farthest star. The silence in the room became unbearable. I told her I would fetch water from the lobby. She gave no reply. I picked up my bag as quietly as possible, though the sound of the zipper seemed thunderous in that stillness. Her gaze never lifted from her phone. It was as though I had already vanished from her world. The elevator hummed as it descended, the numbers glowing one by one. Each floor felt like a heartbeat, steady and final. When the doors opened, I walked out into the night. The air was warmer outside, filled with the scent of roasted chestnuts from a nearby vendor. Laughter from a cafe spilled into the street. Music from a violin drifted faintly, carried on the breeze. The city was alive, but I felt hollow. A taxi slowed beside me, headlights cutting through the darkness. Without hesitation, I opened the door and slid inside. The driver asked for my destination. I spoke the word without a tremor. The airport. As the car pulled away, the hotel shrank behind me, swallowed by neon and noise. I did not look back. When I returned home, silence greeted me. The house felt colder, as if it knew what had happened. Her perfume lingered faintly on the curtains and cushions, ghostly reminders of her presence. I sat in the dim living room, listening to the ceiling fan creak as it turned. The memory of her voice replayed in my mind, sharp and merciless. "There will be no sharing of a bed." The words refused to fade. Upstairs the bed stretched wide and untouched. It looked emptier than ever. I lay down alone, staring at the ceiling, tracing invisible cracks in the plaster. My thoughts circled endlessly, restless as birds trapped in a cage. Some journeys begin with promises, others end before they truly start. Our honeymoon had been both. I finally understood something no one had told me. The emptiest place in the world is not a hotel room in a foreign city. It is the space beside you when the one who swore to love you has already gone in spirit. And in that silence, I realized my marriage had ended before it had even begun.